Alright, so the pet spotlight for today will be on the Fossilized Hatchling. Before Graves was a thing, Fossilized Hatchling was the pet to use Bone Storm. He was the strongest pet to use Bone Storm. The only other pet in the game that had Bone Storm at the time didn't hit very hard. He had lots of health, but yeah, he was still used because Bone Storm was pretty good. What Bone Storm does is it does a lot of AoE damage that doesn't split, but it does a lot more than other similar abilities at the cost of 10% of your total health at the end of the turn. So it's supposed to hurt you a little bit while doing a lot of AoE damage. And it does actually quite a bit. A Fossilized Hatchling, anyways, I should probably start this off with how do you get it. You get the Fossilized Hatchling through archaeology, or you can just buy it off the auction house since they really shouldn't cost that much. I have two of them. They're not very expensive, but if you're one of those people who don't want to spend money on anything, I mean, what else are you going to spend your gold on? Not battle pets? That's ridiculous. Yeah, you just get them through archaeology. I don't know how long it takes, though, because I don't really do it. I did look it up before I did this, but it didn't really look all that hard. Anyways, what's so good about him? Well, I kind of start off this video with what's good about him. Basically, Bone Storm. The only reason he's used is because he has Bone Storm, and he's the second strongest pet that can use it, besides Graves. And then once they finally nerf Graves in the next expansion, which they totally should do right now in Warlords of Draenor, but they're going to wait until the next expansion because they want people to keep doing nothing but AoE teams until the next expansion drops. He's also a pretty good alternative to throw in as well. Better than Creepy Crate because, for one, his Bone Storm hits harder, and two, his other abilities are not half bad. For his first slot, you can either take a basic attack that's an undead ability, which is fine. It does 325 damage every time. You don't have to worry about RNG. Or you can take Claw, which does, it has a chance of hitting for 400 damage. About 75 more damage than Bone Bite if you get lucky. More often than not, you'll hit about as hard as a Bone Bite, or sometimes you'll hit for less. But Claw's pretty good, because usually you do run into a lot of critters in PvP, if not just straight up other undeads. So both of them are fine against both either of them, but usually if your opponent has a critter, they'll try to put it out against the Fossilized Hatchling, which will give you a nice little advantage if you have Claw, since it's a beast type ability. But really, either one's fine, doesn't matter. Really doesn't matter, they're just two basic attacks. The next here, though, this one is a little bit more contested. Death and Decay is a 9-round dot that goes out on the battlefield, so if you throw it out before a decoy is put down, it'll actually count as one of the attacks for it. So it's a nice decoy, block consumer. It's not a decoy breaker, because you can't put Death and Decay out while decoy's already out. It'll just count as one attack and the dot won't be applied. So you have to do it beforehand, so it's not as good as other decoy breakers, but it's like a very soft decoy breaker that does like no damage. Its damage is really, really bad, but it is a 9-turn ability, so I don't know. It's fine, but it's not the greatest thing in the world. I'm pretty sure Immolation is better. Immolation is a 9-turn ability as well. Yeah, and it does actual like legit damage, 77 damage, but Immolation is tied to a pet, whereas Death and Decay isn't. It just goes out in the field and it just lasts for 9 turns. But it does less damage. I would highly recommend Ancient Blazing instead, because it's a lot better. It's a really good heal, almost 450. It's a basic attack and a half, which is like baseline heal has to be if you're going to take it, because you're wasting a turn to use a heal which you could have used for damage. So it has to be more health healed than you would do in damage that turn. Otherwise, you're just going to get hit for the same amount of damage you just healed, assuming your opponent's doing nothing but spamming basic attacks on you. So it does have to be used kind of strategically. Plus, it does also increase your maximum health by a little bit. What is it? 25 times 5, 125 extra maximum health for the rest of your team. I think that's what the math comes out to. And I mean, that's not like the best thing in the world, but it can help out some other pets that benefit off of having a higher health pool, like beast type pets or humanoids. And I think there's only two that really benefit from having a higher health pool. Anyways, then Bone Storm. Bone Prison is garbage. Don't ever take it. Like, really, it has it's a basic attack. It does less damage than both Claw and Bone Bite. Actually, no, I think it's basically like hitting on the low end of a Claw for damage. It does really shit for damage. All it does is prevent your opponent from switching out for 2 turns. I mean, if you're running some kind of comp where you don't want your opponent to switch out, because there are some teams that do that, Bone Prison can be useful in those very specific situations, but in those very specific situations, actually, Fossilized Hatchling probably wouldn't be a bad choice for that. He is undead, and he does have a heal. And his stats are pretty good. He has higher than normal health, higher than normal attack, and his speed isn't super slow for his above average health and attack power. He's not too slow, but he's not, going to be winning any races against average pets. And then you have Bone Storm right here. You have a really mediocre, very situational Bone Prison ability, and then you have Bone Storm, which is really good, kind of overpowered actually. One of the reasons Graves is so strong is because he has both Bone Storm and Grave Destruction. They're both really hard-hitting AoEs on 2 separate tiers. He only has 1 though, but his heal is pretty nice. It'll actually allow him to survive long enough to use 2 of them, maybe even 3 if you're going against someone who just does shit for damage against undeads, which is a lot of damage to your opponent's entire team. Alright, and that's basically it. Now I'll just show what Fossilized Hatchling's able to do in an actual battle. Alright, so there is a problem with this team in that it's so good and annoying to go against that most players just actually run away from it. So if you want to win a lot of games, this is not a half bad team to accomplish that goal with. Alright, I think I actually want to save Fossilized Hatchling for that ninja pet. So maybe just 1 Bone Storm and then switch out. Sound good? I want to show what he's capable of, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to show him on a team and actually use him. So now I'm just going to go into Bacon, who's going to take the Soul Rush. Other than go into another Bone Storm. Nice. Bacon doesn't hit very hard, but I mean, he does have Bone Storm, so he's not a bad pet because of that. Curse of Doom. Oh, I got crit. Well, that's bad news, Bears. Not really a big deal, I want to say, but his rabbit can actually kind of solo my entire team if I'm not careful. Okay, Graves, it's your turn. He might not be able to survive, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Bone Storm first. That way I can use Grave Destruction. I mean, that way I can get, hopefully, another Bone Storm off before I kick the bucket, because I'm not going to switch out. And I got stunned. That's bad. That's really unlucky. Oh, you stupid bastard. Well, if I didn't get stunned right there, I probably still wouldn't be able to get off the Bone Storm. But it totally didn't help since he was able to outspeed me, so I lost 2 turns of damage. Alright, now it's time for the Fossilized Hatchling. He's a little bit slower, so I might lose the exchange. Nope, looks like I'm good to go. Is the Cottontail going to come out next? Oh, he did. Is he going to go for a dodge right off the bat? Usually they do. 1, 2. He only got a double hit. Oh, thank goodness. He went for Flurry right off the bat instead of a dodge to be safe. He didn't know I had Claw. Alright. I might be able to turn this into a tie game. Unless he has Ethereal. Oh, that's Ethereal. I've been saying it wrong this whole time. Well, I lost. I can chalk that up to the unlucky stun from the Fragment of Anger. But that was actually a pretty good one to show off what the Fossilized Hatchling is capable of. He was able to do some nice AoE damage, and he destroyed the counter that could have taken out my entire team in one ability. That was a really nice crit. I mean, I got unlucky with that stun, but I got pretty lucky with that crit on Claw. Although if I hadn't been stunned, I probably would have won. I would have done a lot better. But whatever. Pet Battles is really RNG anyway.